So, just to start, I'll just give a small summary of my career, and because based on my experience, I'm going to share my lessons, which I want to present it to all of you today. So I was born in Lucknow. I was born in Kanpur, brought up in Lucknow, did my engineering in Gorakhpur. And then I joined NTPC, which is a public limited company. And in NTPC, I did my training in interiors of Tamil Nadu, in Neyveli. And then I came and joined back again NTPC plant in Renukut. I had 3 years of WorkX. Then I did my MBA from IIM Bangalore. From there, I joined Eicher Tractors in Faridabad. And then I went out and I joined Toyota in Middle East. Worked there for a few years, came back, and I became the first employee in sales and marketing to join General Motors in India. And then within General Motors, I grew up. I became head of sales service marketing. Then they sent me to Japan. I came back as chief operating officer of MG India. I became CEO of MG India. And in 2007, I was transferred to Egypt in GM. So I was head for GM Egypt. Then I grew up to become in charge for whole North Africa for GM. Then I was transferred to China, and I was in China as head of sales service marketing. China was the #1 market for GM. I was there for 2 years, and then I left GM. So I spent 19 years in GM. Then I quit GM, and then I joined a private equity company based out of London. And it's a man capital company. It's a family-owned private equity company. So I was in London for some time, though I was operating from Gurgaon because my family was in Gurgaon, and they made me in charge for an asset for a big company, a logistics company in LA, in USA. So I was managing the business from Gurgaon, India, but I used to travel every month to London and to LA and to all parts of the world. And then I joined MG. So MG for me was a startup because I was hired to start business in India. I was alone for almost 1 year with another colleague of mine who was taking care of policy and stuff like that. So I was alone for almost a year. And then we purchased this GM plant in Baroda, in Halol. And then we built this whole brand. And now we have got the plant, we have got a good team, we have got good dealers, and we have launched 4 products. So this, in short, is my journey. I studied in Hindi medium school till 10th. I couldn't speak English. And when I started my 11th, or in some areas they call it high school, when I started 11th, that was the first time that I started reading English textbooks, those subjects in English. So it was pretty tough. So I remember that even in my engineering days, I struggled. I used to listen to BBC and read Economic Times and some other English newspaper just to get used to the language, and also wanted to know the accent. And my job later on in GM took me to all parts of the globe. GM, as you know, is an American company, so I've been to America hundreds of times. And then I lived in China, I lived in Japan, I lived in Egypt. And GM had purchased a company, you may know, Daewoo company in Korea. So I was in Korea for many times. And actually the first car which was launched by GM in India was Opel Astra. So Opel is German. So I used to go to Germany a number of times. And because of my private equity company, I was going to London. And then they made me in charge for some time, managing director for the logistics company for Europe. So I used to go to Belgium. Why I'm dropping all these countries' names is to tell you there are lots of things common among the global citizens. So based on all that experience, I'm going to tell you 5 things which I feel, or 5 lessons which I think I have learned, and they have made me whatever I am today, and I feel they are important. First thing I would say, it's global among all citizens. And when you are working in those kind of diverse environments, the name of countries I just mentioned, or even within India, whether you are in a private sector, public sector, government job, school, college, it's in your business or whatever, some characteristics are important for you to be successful. And it is mutual respect and trust between people. And that cannot happen if you're not humble. So this humbleness, mutual respect and trust is the bedrock of your personality. And that's, I think, very important if you want to achieve anything in life, in whatever you want to do. And that has helped me a lot. And I'll give you some small examples. Like for trust, it's not that you tell people that, hey, you trust me. For trust, you need to be trustworthy. Means people should be able to trust you based on your deeds, based on your actions, based on your commitments, based on your words, based on your body language and everything else. So I think is very, very important. And just to give you some example, as an example, if I go to a new country, when I went to a new country, as an example, Japan or in Egypt, where even the language was a big issue. And the people used to bring lots of documents for you to sign. And because you are the boss, there are lots of signatures you need to do. So my style always was that if they are on my first day, they are bringing some documents for me to sign, I will sign the document and keep it with me. And then call the guys and say, hey, listen, I've signed it. Now you explain to me what exactly I'm signing and explain me the whole thing. So then I will question and I will find the answers, but I will give him or her the comfort that, listen, I believe you. Okay. I know that this is important and I need to approve it to keep going forward. And I've signed it here, but you explain me now, what exactly is this? So this is how this is just one example that I started trying to earn that kind of a trust. And obviously when you are at senior job, it's given that you are good in your subject. But the respect you earn, not because of chair, respect you earn because of your deeds and because this kind of personality. So this is one. Second, I would say is that you need to be part of the solution. You need to have a problem-solving mind. There will always be all kinds of situations, all kinds of things, all kinds of problems where sometimes you may feel that you don't know what to do. And most of the time we get depressed, we feel bad, we feel victimized of the situation. And we just say, hey, God help us. So I think if something goes wrong, you have the full right to cry for one day, depending on how bad the situation is or how bad the issue is. You can cry for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. If really it's a very tragic situation, maybe for a few weeks and few months, you can feel bad, depending on the severity of the situation. But then one fine day, you have to say, enough. What am I doing to solve? What am I doing to come out of it? What actions you are taking to solve the problem? You cannot keep crying. You cannot keep feeling victimized. You cannot keep thinking, ye meri kismat kharab hai. You cannot do that. And if you just want to keep doing that, you will get into a circle of depression. And even if not depression, let's say you may get into a circle where probably it's difficult for you to come out, and it's not good for your own mental health, your physical health, as well as for your growth. So every problem, they say, has got solution. Always there are alternatives. And actually, if there is no solution, then there is no problem. So it's a philosophical thing, right? If there is no solution, it means that's not a problem. You can't do anything about it, which is not in your control. So second point, again, I'll summarize. I'll say it's what actions you are doing to come out of that situation. Ask that question always and try to solve the problem. The third thing, I'll say is for any situation and for your own evolution, if you have to keep growing up, there are certain things which is called hard work, perseverance, and sincerity There is nothing called shortcut to success. Nobody, if you see at high position anywhere in the companies, in startup world, politics, teaching, nobody has reached the top situation or top level without the hard work. You may not know it, you may not know the story, you may not know the background, and you may feel कि उसकी किस्मत अच्छी है, or the person is easygoing, but still he gets everything, so इसकी destiny है. But that's not true. In fact, destiny also, you know, in our Indian system, especially in our culture, we say, ये तो लिखा हुआ है. You know, like sometimes like your parents tell you, ये तो लिखा हुआ है, ऐसा ही होगा. What I feel very strongly is, हाँ, लिखा हुआ शायद है, but उसको achieve करने के लिए, you have to do certain things. You have to take actions. So maybe there's a door of destiny. Maybe it's लिखा हुआ है, provided you take some action, provided you move. And also you do then hard work, and then you persevere. One of the examples I want to give it to you, my personal example. So when I was in Dubai, in Toyota, and I learned that, no, that's not the place for me, Middle East at that point of time in my life. And I wanted to come back to India. And I wanted to apply in some different companies. So from Dubai, I applied to some companies. And I mailed my resume or biodata to consultants and companies, total 100 numbers. So 100 to 100 companies and consultants I applied from Dubai. And by the way, listen, okay, I was MBA from IIM Bangalore and everything was good on my resume. What kind of response I got from there? I was in Dubai and I was applying in India. Zero. I didn't get a single response from India. So then I came back to India. I came to India on vacation, and then I went, this is 94, 95. And then I went around, met some guys, and then I got first job, then another job. So I got 4 offers in 1 month. And GM was, salary-wise was the lowest. But I joined GM, and by the way, GM factory was in Halol, Baroda, same. So I started coming to Baroda since 1994, 95. So, you know, so it was all that I kept applying, and then I met, so something happened. So again, that perseverance probably, here's the thing. And hard work is whatever you do, you need to engage yourself fully in that job. Whether it's job or your startup idea, your entrepreneurial idea, you're joining your family business, whatever, you need to be at it. The fourth thing I'll say is that you need to take initiative. You need to do something different. You need to take your risk. You need to take your chance. Otherwise, beyond a point, you will not see material growth. You will grow. Still, things will improve. But you need to take your chances. You need to do something different. You need to take initiatives. You know, if you keep doing same thing again and again and again and again, you may reach a particular level, but beyond that level, you will not be able to grow. And if I reflect back in my career, you know, and like I told you, I was in NTPC, I was in iShare, I was in GM, then I was in private equity, you know, I'm in MG. So I made some changes. And if I look back and I look back at my colleagues, my friends, you know, some of them were really smarter than me, and they are smarter than me. And intellect-wise, quite a lot of them are smarter than me. And they are doing very well in their respective jobs. So probably from their definition of success, they are doing very well. But I would say in my case, I kept taking chances. You know, whenever I got a chance to move out or change my sector, when I changed from GM to a private equity company, it was a new experience altogether, and I became head of a logistics company. And logistics company, it's an industry called NVOCC, which is non-vessel owned common carrier, which frankly, I had not even heard of the industry. But again, I wanted to challenge myself. There was a chance I got. I said, okay, MG, when chairman of this company approached me to start MG in India, you know, at that point of time, lots of people told me that, hey, listen, you were managing director of GM in 2007. And 2016, you are going to start a business from scratch. And it's like you're going back in your corporate life, or maybe it's below your kind of below your standards because you were MD 12, 13 years back. Why are you restarting the whole thing? But that gave you a different kind of a kick. So again, you have to define the definition of success. What do you think at various stages of your life, and you do it. And no regrets. I'm so happy that I did this, because the kind of experience I got in starting this whole MG thing in India, it's mind-boggling, and it gives me great satisfaction. The last point which I want to say is that that when you evolve your journey, when you evolve in your journey, and when you start growing, and whatever you may be doing, you need to follow a 5P model. 5P, I've intentionally made kind of an acronym, 5P, so that you can remember it. The first is, initially when you start your career, like most of you are going to do now after graduating today, is the performance, right? Simple. You need to perform. Whatever you are doing, whatever kind of things you're doing, you have to perform. And then further, when you have to grow, then you need to start getting good in making presentations, because you need to tell your story. You need to be able to communicate well. Further, you have to go up. You need to start managing people well. So performance, presentation, people. You need to have people skill. You need to be able to manage a team. And further, you want to go up, and the more you grow up, you need to manage your peers. Because then there are a lot of functional heads, staff heads, departmental heads. Now you have to manage these guys too, right? And after that, once you are into the top echelons of your company, or you are the CEO, or you are the founder, owner of some startup or some company, then you need to manage a little bit of politics. And politics, I'm saying in a positive way here, because I wanted to make it 5P. That's why I've written politics, but actually it is dynamics. You need to manage the dynamics. So as an example, in my position, I have to manage the employees, the dealers, suppliers, the government policy, my headquarters, various stakeholders. We have to think about community. We have to think about various other stakeholders. Now, that's what, and my personal desire and my personal ambition. So there are some trade-offs now. So, again, you can be brutally honest and transparent, but you need to manage dynamics smartly. And you have to manage and carefully navigate, through all these various stakeholders. So it means, and I want to give some example that some guys may say, hey, I'm very good, and I've got great marks, I've got great grades. But that doesn't define the success, ultimate success, of a person, because there are a lot of factors in life, a lot of factors in the journey which are important to make you successful. I want to give one example. After my engineering, I wanted to go into Air Force, armies basically. I wanted to go into forces, and I got selected for Air Force in the written test, and they invited me to do other tests. So, you may have heard that they have a service selection board in which is very notorious, that, they test you physically there, and in many things. So it's a 3-day, 4-day kind of a thing. You go to some place, basically an army center and forces center, and they keep you there for 3-4 days, and you have to do kind of physical hurdles and physical exercises and lots of other things they make you do. So in that, I got in the physical exercise part of that assessment center, I got probably 50%, 60%. So I thought maybe I'm going to be rejected. But I got selected. And there are some guys who did almost 90% well on the physical training program, physical assessment thing, and they did not get selected. So we asked this question to the people there. Hey, listen, especially those guys asked the question that, listen, service selection board for forces is renowned for that you need to do well on the physical test. And those guys did very well on physical test. So what happened? Why were they not selected? So the answer given by the top brass was, hey, listen, if you look only for the physical score, then maybe we should take monkeys in forces. We want leaders. Okay, physical fitness is one part of it, but we need people who can carry their team together, who are motivators, who are leaders, who can solve the problem, who are analytical, and blah blah blah. So scoring marks is a good thing. It's a good start, but that doesn't define everything about success in future. So that's why I think this 5P model, as I said, the more you grow in whatever you do, I think you need to keep in mind these factors. Now, it may sound pretty complicated to you, that life may be, very challenging and things like that. It's not. Frankly, it's not. You need to live in the present, and you need to believe in your karmas. And what is a karma? That whatever situation you are in at this point of time, you need to focus on that. So if you are a student, your job is to study hard. If you get into a job, whatever kind of a job, just do well in that what you do. As I just told you, my experiences when I was in NTPC, within that 2.5, 3 years, I was given all kinds of projects, and I was thrown from one department to another department. So I was in charge for safety, I was in charge for low pressure piping, I was in charge for construction activities, I was in charge for coal handling plant, boiler erection, planning, you name it. So I could have said, hey, listen, there is no career here. What's my future? What's my career? One way is to think that way. Or the other way was, whatever you were given, you just do it well. And by the way, all that experience taught me a lot. Even in construction activity, when I was there, how to deal with the labor, I learned it there. So I can say, hey, I have experience in dealing with the labor. What kind of emotions they go through, what kind of issues they go through. So everything helps you when you grow in this journey as you go forward. And by the way, I understand that lots of things have changed since those days, right? Your social media pressure is too much. I think the life has become complicated in terms of you need to get, I think in the end, I would say things are not complicated. Keep it simple, believe in your karmas, and keep doing hard work, because there is no shortcut to success. In the end, I would say that one Brahmastra which I use, or one statement which I keep using most of the time, that whenever you are wrong, just say sorry and move on. You don't have to keep hanging on to your statement, your own ego, and keep. You should not have the urge to keep proving that you're always right. And you can never be always right. So if you do a mistake, admit it, say sorry, and move on. So on that note, frankly, once again, I'm sorry that I could not come there and I could not be in person. I was really looking forward to it. And Mrs. Tejal, sincerely, once again, I need to apologize. I wish I was there, but hopefully I'll make it up. So wish you all the best to all the students for a great future. And trust me that all of you, have huge opportunities in front of you. You can do wonders, and just stay sincere and humble. Thank you very much, and have a great time.